carries it up the floor. And the rookie going for the stuff gets denied at the rim.
There's no one that has more spectacular missed dunks. I mean, that was breathtaking what he just tried to do.
Would have been more breathtaking if he finished.
Yeah, no doubt.
Early on this season, Anthony Edwards looked like a 19-year-old rookie trying to figure things out in the NBA. But lately, the number one pick has flipped the switch.
Oh, Anthony Edwards put that one on the highlight reel with all the rest. That was a top shot, folks.
I almost took my headset off and threw it onto the court. I was so excited.
Today, The Athletic's John Krasinski on how Edwards managed to level up his game, how high his ceiling could be in the future, and whether he's done enough to earn Rookie of the Year.
What you saw, I think, from him was the kind of dynamic and overpowering performance that is really required to sort of grab voters by the shirt collars and shake them and say, pay attention to me. I'm here now.
From Wondering in The Athletic, I'm Tiffany Oshinsky. It's Friday, May 14th, and this is The Lead. Well, John, you were at the center of a pretty entertaining moment at a press conference recently after the Timberwolves played against the Heat and their former teammate, Jimmy Butler. Can you tell us about the exchange you had with T-Wolves players Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns after that game?
Yeah, it was entertaining. That's for sure, Tiffany. As people may know, Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves in general have a little bit of a history with Jimmy Butler. When he orchestrated his way out of Minnesota a couple of years ago, there was no love lost. So the Timberwolves were playing the Heat in Miami, and it was a kind of renewal of the good tidings, if you might say, between Karl Anthony Towns and Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler and Karl Anthony Towns are really going at it, and they're going to call double technicals on Jimmy.
You picked up some of that on the mics,
Yeah,
but I'll let people listen for themselves. And
so after the game, of course, we have to ask Karl Anthony Towns about that.
Were your emotions running high at that point? What was kind of going through your head as that game came to an end there?
It just so happens that he and Anthony Edwards were doing a joint press conference, and Anthony Edwards really kind of stepped in and took the reins.
Man, they grown men, dog. They be just talking, having a regular conversation, if you ask me. I mean, if y'all come to see us compete, it's no competition if we're not talking shit.
It was just a really illuminating kind of exchange, Tiffany, because here's a 19-year-old rookie who understands that the veteran right by his side has never been one that wants to engage in the public kind of mudslinging that Jimmy Butler, that many players in the NBA enjoy doing. He always wants to stay above that. And Anthony Edwards understood that and said, I'm going to make sure that I squash this before it becomes a major thing. And he did just that.
A sign of maturity right there from the rookie, I'd say.
It sure was. Yeah. He has been a breath of fresh air in Minnesota for kind of his authenticity and the way that he just enjoys the moment.
And I want to meet a lot of people. I want to sit and talk, and I want to, learn Spanish. So I feel like my fans over there, I really love you guys.
But you can see that kind of beneath this youthful energy that he has is a very savvy young man. Like, he understands the media machine, and he answers every question with exactly how he feels. There is no tap dancing. There is no sugarcoating. There is no veneer. It's all authentic, and it is a revelation.
Well, I want to take a minute and look back at November. The Timberwolves had a tough decision to make at the top of the NBA draft, and they decided to bet on upside.
With the first pick in the 2020 NBA draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Anthony Edwards from the University of Georgia.
What was the book on Edwards, and what were some of the knocks on him coming out of the University of Georgia?
People didn't really know if he truly loved the game, if he wanted to be great. This was a young man with so much physical ability.
Anthony Edwards with the jam. Are you kidding me?
They want to get him on the move. They want to get him going downhill. Look out below.
What everyone was kind of wondering about is, does this kid who really loved to play football, does he really want to play basketball? Is he going to be someone who puts in the countless hours to work on his game that you need out of a number one pick? Because when you're picking number one, you need a franchise-changing type of a player. And so there was just a lot of question marks of, does Anthony Edwards love this enough to put in the work to harness all of those physical gifts and all of those tools and get them going in the right direction?
Well, those critics got a little pat on the back for their critique of him because you wrote that his rookie year got off to a rocky start on the court. So what was going on early for Edwards?
Yeah, he was, I think, just a 19-year-old kid who was trying to figure things out. This rookie class, because of the pandemic, did not have a summer league, did not have a real training camp, a couple of preseason games to kind of get an understanding of the NBA game. And so Edwards was just coming in and trying to find his way.
Edwards trying to find Vanderbilt underneath.
He's covered.
He was covered by three black jerseys.
And a chance to maybe just be a little bit more under control and could have taken the shot himself.
Some of the struggles you saw were shot selection. He would take some really tough contested shots.
Ant has not shot the ball particularly well from outside the arc, which is one of the reasons why he's driving. And he's missed 11 straight threes, Dave.
Yeah, going back to the end of the Laker game.
And yeah, there were some tough nights. There were 1 for 10 nights. There were 6 or 5 turnover nights. And you could just see him really trying to process this and say, okay, where am I going to find my advantages out there? And that took a little bit of time.
Well, so during all of those games where Anthony Edwards was shooting badly and going through those rookie struggles, what was his attitude like?
The thing that has always been apparent from Anthony Edwards from day one he was drafted is he is overflowing with confidence. And it's not even irrational confidence. It never was a point of you looked at him and said, man, this kid is just unrealistic right now. It was, okay, he really believed truly in his abilities and in his intelligence to really process things and figure it out. And that basically he was saying through the whole time is like, I'm going to be fine.
You got to the rim a lot and just couldn't kind of convert. What was it feeling like out there as you got there, so often you just couldn't quite get those ones to fall?
It's going to fall. A lot of them in and out, jump shots in and out. It's going to fall. I don't really, press about stuff like that because if it's missing the right way, that means I'm doing the right thing in my workout. It's going to fall, though. It's going to fall.
The other part about it that was really interesting, Tiffany, was that he came to a team where Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell were kind of already established stars. And so he was kind of deferential to them. He basically said, look, this is their team. I'm going to take my time and figure it out. But don't worry about me, is what he would say, is I'm ready to do this. Once I get a feel for things, it's going to be a wrap.
Well, the Wolves were really struggling as a team also. And in late February, they made a big change.
The Minnesota Timberwolves have fired head coach Ryan Saunders and plan to hire Raptors assistant Chris Finch as their next head coach. The hiring news comes per The Athletic. Saunders led the T-Wolves to an NBA worst 7-24 start to the season. The son of NBA mainstay.
So what did new head coach Chris Finch bring to the locker room, and what was his impact on Edwards?
Yeah, it was quite a situation to put a rookie in. He really found out, Anthony Edwards did, about the business of the NBA. Because barely halfway through his rookie season, his coach, Ryan Saunders, is getting fired. What Gerson Rosas, the president of basketball operations for the Timberwolves, wanted was a little bit more organization offensively. And I do think Chris Finch has done a really good job of that. You can see an identity forming around this Timberwolves offense, around Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. Another thing that happened after Chris Finch arrived, Karl Anthony Towns became fully healthy for them, whereas earlier in the season under Ryan Saunders, he had missed time with a wrist injury. He had missed time with COVID, and he is kind of the central figure in this Wolves offense. And so having him back on the court and then also having D'Angelo Russell, who had a knee surgery, come back and play consistently, now all of a sudden opposing defenses couldn't just load up on Anthony Edwards.
That's right. Well, John, you wrote that if Edwards is going to pass LaMelo Ball for Rookie of the Year, last Wednesday night was likely the night it happened.
These games have been determined by toughness, and the Grizzlies have been tougher than Minnesota over the past 5. They've won all 5 of them. And
can you take us through what happened for Edwards in that game?
Yeah, what you saw, I think, from him, Tiffany, was the kind of dynamic and overpowering performance that is really required to sort of grab voters by the shirt collars and shake them and say, pay attention to me. I'm here now.
Edwards for 3. Ant is dialed in. Jim, he said after practice yesterday that his shooting got better from three-point range as he became more comfortable. He said now it feels like a high school 3.
The Grizzlies play this rough and tumble bully ball type of a style, and the Wolves have historically been a little more finesse. Karl Anthony Towns is a little more of a finesse player. D'Angelo Russell certainly is a finesse player as well. Now here's Anthony Edwards, who's 6'4", 6'5", 230 pounds, and he was taking the fight to the Grizzlies.
Ants can kill, and Edwards is trying to take a bite out of Memphis here tonight.
As he completes his play at Valanciunas, looks at his right bicep.
Was 17 of 22 from the field, 8 of 9 from 3, just doing everything possible to show everyone the ceiling for his potential.
And he's got 42 to match his career high.
It's difficult to take the ball out of D'Lo's hands and out of Karl Anthony Towns' hands, but Anthony Edwards on this night needed to have the ball in his hands.
That's the kind of game that a voter can look at and say, wow, this young man maybe did deserve to be the number 1 overall pick. And I better look a lot harder and not just easily swipe him aside, maybe the way that I had to before when the Wolves were just languishing at the bottom of the standings. Because the other factor here, Tiffany, is that the Wolves are winning now more. And they're beating good teams and bad teams. And Anthony Edwards is a central part of that.
Brought to you by the Capital One Quicksilver Card. With Quicksilver, you earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, everywhere. That's unlimited 1.5% cash back on everything you buy. And unlimited really means unlimited. With Quicksilver, there's no limit to how much cash back you can earn. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Credit approval required. Capital One Bank, USA, N.A. When you're innovating, you've got to question everything. The folks at Hyundai did, and they completely reimagined every inch of the all-new Tucson, resulting in an SUV loaded with available innovations both inside and out. You'll be blown away by the 10.25-inch infotainment screen or the digital key technology, which allows you to use your smartphone as a spare key. Test drive the 2022 Hyundai Tucson at your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details. I know the experience all too well of going to a car dealership to buy a car and wasting your entire weekend stuck in the finance department. That's what's so great about Vroom. With Vroom, you can buy a car entirely online and have it delivered straight to you, so you never have to go to a dealership again. You can buy a car from home, a park, even while you're listening to this podcast. Why spend your weekend driving out to a million different dealerships when you can browse thousands of cars in one place? Vroom is entirely online, so next time you need to buy a car, just grab your phone, go to vroom.com, and check out thousands of great cars.
Well, John, the Timberwolves have the 3rd worst record in the Western Conference, but they've been playing better lately. And as you said, we've also seen D'Angelo Russell come back late in the season after knee surgery. Karl Anthony Towns is playing all the way to the bitter end when he easily could have shut it down. So along those lines, you wrote the Wolves are, quote, in no mood to tank. What's at stake for the team in these final games?
Yeah, they've had to try to make a tough decision here, Tiffany, because they have a first-round draft pick that they will keep next year if it's in the top 3. If it lands outside of the top 3, they give it to Golden State in the Andrew Wiggins for D'Angelo Russell trade. So there are some teams who would shut everyone down and lose as much as possible to try and get into that top 3 cluster, which give you the best odds of getting a top 3 pick. The Wolves have gone the opposite direction. They believe that they have not had enough time on the court with Edwards, Towns, and Russell together because of all the injuries and all the other things that have happened over the last year and a half, that they need to start establishing some continuity and some sort of baseline level of success to go into next season. And so you have seen these guys play incredibly hard against the Utahs of the world, against Golden State. So they're very determined to really kind of show that this core that they have together right now, Towns, Edwards, Russell, is going to be the one that carries them out of the gutter.
We'll find